I said, he said to me, have you watched Everton? Yeah, of course I'm watching Everton, but your last game I was at the stadium. And the manager looked at me and said, I said, I want to just watch the game because I love football. And well, said me, okay, then tomorrow we're gonna sign you. And that's how, when he said that, I couldn't, at that night I didn't sleep. Even the bad time I have at Everton, I still been loving by the Everton fans. I'm someone who can say the way then I love Everton, that's the same way the Everton fans, they love me. So of course, West Brom it can be a very good opportunity for me, but my agent will try to do what he needs to do. And if Big Sam is interesting, of course, me, I was ready to jump in my car and just drive to Birmingham. Sadio make us all proud, right? Make us to the way he's been playing the last 4 or 5 years. He's been always doing something really good to make everyone to understand. As a Senegalese people, as African people, you can make it properly on the highest level, no matter exactly where you come from.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to yet again another episode of the Beautiful Game podcast. As ever, I'm your host, Budge, and I'm joined by my faithful two co-conspirators, Dot and Dej. Gents, are we well?
I'm very well, Budge. How are you?
Very, very well indeed, man. All good, thanks.
I was just going to put it out there and say Merry Christmas, because I'm sure this will be coming out at around Christmas.
100%. Merry Christmas to all you listeners and viewers. How about you, Dej? How are you feeling? You looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah, bro. Family time, obviously, it's going to be a very different one this year, but, we can't complain. We just got to get on with it. And obviously, we're joined today by someone that, I remember scoring a goal against my team, Liverpool, for Hull, knocking it in. So, it's going to be a pleasure to just chop it up with him.
100%. 100%. Now, obviously, it's been a year of lots of ups and downs and twists and turns. And, as you mentioned there, Dej, Christmas time is a time that everyone's going to be, hopefully, with family and loved ones and whatnot. And, in true TBG fashion, we're giving our listeners and our subscribers a present and a gift in this interview. We are joined, as you alluded to just there, by a Senegalese superstar. I'm sure all of the viewers of the Premier League will remember that emphatic brace that he scored against Bournemouth. I think the first one of those goals in particular was a favourite of mine. The way that he controlled it and hit it top pins. But we're going to get into that in this episode. Without further ado, we welcome Oumar Niasse to the platform. Welcome, Oumar.
Welcome,
Thank
Oumar.
you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So, been a difficult year, like you said, but hopefully the new year is coming and the Christmas will be better for all of us, and especially people who love the beautiful games.
We like that.
So obviously, just to kick things off, I want to scroll back to, the embryonic stages of your career. Coming from Senegal and then moving to Europe, how big of a break was that for you?
Like I said, it was very difficult for me because most of my friends I used to play when I was in Senegal, especially in the 18 national team, under 21, 23. They left home early. When I can mention Idrissa Gana Gueye I used to play with in Everton, Sadio Mane in Liverpool, and all them guys, Kouyaté, all them guys we've been playing under 23. They left home early. So me, I didn't have that chance. I stayed there until I turned 23. So I kind of been traveling with the national team, going to play games away from home. So traveling in South America, traveling in Europe, and most of the country you go, you play a game, but you have to come back. So the first time I left was to go to Brandbergen in Norway, spent there 6 months, and I had to go back home because they finished the 6 months. So I went back home, 22, I have to start again, play 1 year at home again, and then that's where I get the opportunity to go in Turkey. And honestly, the day I arrived in Turkey, for me, it was just someone who doesn't have anything to lose anymore. So I just said myself, right, I'm here. I don't have to think about who is there or who is not there. I'm new in this league. Just let's go. Don't think too much. Just go. And that's how my career started, in like a professional, proper professional at 23. And then things was just opening. Like I arrived in Turkey, play one season, 34 games, score 15 goals, and then I end up in Lokomotiv Moscow. It was also another change because, like from Senegal, when the weather is hot, arrive in Turkey. The Turkey is kind of a country when it's warm. It wasn't that difficult to adapt in Turkey, but after have to go to Moscow, it was another world. So, but anything you can see on that, if you love the game, you're not gonna worry about where you're gonna end up. As long as it's a ball inside, 11 versus 11, well, you can adapt, and that's how I adapt to Russia and all that. But honestly, it was a long and a beautiful journey for me.
Yeah, like Oumar, going back to when you were back home in Senegal, it's everybody's dream. Every kid's dream is to one day play in the Premier League. Like I went back home to Nigeria around 18 months ago, and all of the kids are wearing Arsenal tops, Chelsea tops, Man United tops, and they're always asking, I want to play in the Premier League. So for you, how was that feeling when that dream was realized, coming to play for Everton?
I mean, like I can't express what the feeling I had, like when the first time I heard my agent told me there is few Premier League teams who's interested on you. Just that interest make my head start going up. And to be honest, when I was in Russia, because I went there the first season, I started playing only the end of the season. So we won the cup and all that. But when we back, the first game I played with Lokomotiv Moscow, I break my wrist, like my ligament wrist. But because when I break it, before I play that game, my agent told me there is Crystal Palace and Aston Villa at that moment in 2015 who was looking at you. And when I heard that, I said, no, I can't stop. So for 4 months, I have to play with the wrist who is breaked, and I have to play for 4 months because I knew if I stop it, maybe I will lose interest of those clubs. And well, after that, because I've been so determined to say, if there is any door open for me for Premier League, I will fight for it. So I did that from July to December. And then after December, I went to go to operation because in Lokomotiv Moscow, in Russia, is in December, you have the break, the long break, like the proper holiday for 1.5 months almost. So I went to do the operation. And like I was coming to England because my ex used to live in England, here in Manchester. So I was coming more in England. And at that point, like interest was coming. Leicester, Crystal Palace, they start making offer. Aston Villa, I spoke with the coach, Roberto Martinez. Thanks God he brought me in Everton. I was just like, only the interest was making my head like, I can't miss that. I was thinking like, if I don't, the club, if I didn't sign at that moment, I think if I go back, it's going to be very difficult for me to be concentrate on the Russian league again, because I finished best player of the year there, and I was ready to just let it go. Apart from so when that happened, I remember I went once I was in Manchester with my ex, and I was at home, and I see like there's Manchester City playing against Everton at City Stadium. I was Lokomotiv player, and I said, you know what? Let me get a ticket and go and watch the game. And I went to watch the game, and I found the stadium so interesting. Like the vibes, everything was there. So, and 2 days after, my agent called me and said, Roberto Martinez want to see you. I said, really? Okay. I went to an hotel not far to Wigan. They had the next day a game, and he met me there. He spoke with me. I said, he said to me, have you watched Everton? Yeah, of course I'm watching Everton, but you know, your last game I was at the stadium. And the manager looked at me and said, I said, I want to just watch the game because I love football. And well, said to me, okay, then tomorrow we're gonna sign you. And that's how, when he said that, I couldn't, like, at that night I didn't sleep.
Yeah,
went to
can
like
imagine.
to bed, just waiting like the day to end up, because it was 1st of February, like the last day of the transfer window. So I had to do medical. I was thinking like, what's gonna go wrong? I couldn't sleep. The day I drive my car, I went to Everton, to the training ground in Finch Farm, spent a whole day, from 9 to 6 p.m. to do the medical check. It was a long day. But at the end, I put the pen in the paper, and like, I couldn't explain how happy and just proud. A lot of things was going in my head, but you know, you can't express that kind of feeling. You have just to live it at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what I wanted to ask you, Umar, is now looking back so far, you've finally been able to live out your dream and play in the Premier League. So did it match up with your expectation? Or is there anything that you didn't expect that you've experienced now? What has it been like versus what you expected it to be?
I mean, like, the Premier League is a special, like, is a special league. Like, I mean, if you have good physically, you can perform good in Premier League. If you are good technically, you can perform. If you are good tactically, you come to Premier League. For example, you go to Spain. When we're talking about Spain, they will tell you need to be technically good. In England, you can bring anything and you can perform as long as you have your confidence and you can do it. For me, arriving in England is saying, okay, I know most of the thing in football is about confidence. So most of the people ask me, do you regret joining Everton or do you regret joining England? Because since I came here, like my career has been like up and down. Some 1 year good, another year not good. Like, it's always with manager and not easy for me to perform the way I should perform. So doesn't mean then I regret. If I have to do it 10 times again, I will do it 10 times again, because all I felt is joy. All I felt is the league was just the best league in the world. Like I said, everyone can play here as long as you can with and play with your own technique, is your own like quality and go with it. But the expectation you have here is, I mean, it's all full. It's full of joys because just the stadium, just how the game is prepared. I played in Turkey, in Norway, in Senegal, in Russia, but there is nothing I can see. I went to see games in France, in Belgium, but it's totally different in England. The first thing who's gonna charm you is when you spoke with my brother, because I have an old brother who played football. He's 2 years older than me. He was playing in Greece. He played even when I was in Russia and all that. But the charming thing is when I have a game, a home game, and I'm telling him, yeah, we have game. I'm speaking with him, and I am at home, and it's 4 or 5 hours before the game. He said, "How can you home?" I say, "Yeah, here is relaxed. You can wait until 2-3 hours, and you get to the stadium." And those kind of things is making you then you are in England, and that's something who's gonna make you to be more like feeling the difference between the Premier League and the other leagues. So, to be honest, my expectation is just so like full of everything I could expect. I saw it. Honestly.
Speaking of expectation, how did you manage the expectation back home? Because now the minute you've come to the Premier League, I'm sure everyone back home is thinking Oumar Niasse is the next big star in the Premier League. Oumar Niasse is signing, the biggest paycheck of his career. How difficult was it to manage back home?
Well, I mean, Africa is almost the same. Like the same way you see in Senegal is the same way it happen in Nigeria, in Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
You have to know then it's not only about you or your family. It's about all a community. You live in some
village,
area. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone have problem. Okay, let's go and see Omar. There is a new team building here. They say, let's go, Omar. Let's go. We need balls. We need shirts. We need like boots. You have to help. But honestly, I handle it good because the more because I spent there so much time, then I didn't left early. Like when you go 23, you're already a man. So I knew what happened at home. So most of the things I anticipated because of how things could be for me was not different to how I see it. So me signing for Everton and then arriving in Premier League was a huge thing in the country, because at that moment, before Sadio Mane make his transfer for Liverpool, I was like the biggest transfer in home in Senegal. So me and El Hadji Diouf, the one who used to play for Liverpool back in the day. Yeah, it was the same amount of money. So Liverpool turned the same Everton. So it was huge in the newspaper, on the TV, every time people talking about now this, look at this. Because it's been 2.5 years since I left home to arrive at Everton. So most of the journalists there, they were already making my name good because of I am a local product. Like I didn't left early to be like performing in club. I was at home. Like they can say I make my formation at home. So that make the things to be big. So now what to expect from me, and what should I do, or what exactly I'm gonna do in Premier League. And honestly, from my side, I handled it well, but it wasn't easy because after the command problem started, after just I arrived 5 months after, and that's break all the news, like the people, what they were seeing, how they were seeing, and how Koeman was treating me. He changed a lot about how the transfer was made and how I arrived in England. So that kind of put me down a bit when it's coming to expectation from back home and all that.
No, I fully understand that. And talking about Ronald Koeman, obviously we've seen him do the same when he's gone to Barcelona, telling Luis Suarez that, listen, you're not part of my plans, go. But, you know, I always think about the human relationship when it comes in football. At that moment, you were asked to clear out your locker, train with the under-23s. Like, how did you feel?
I mean, it was like something really, really, really difficult when you don't understand why this guy is doing that. Because, to be honest, it wasn't something I could understand, because me and Koeman, after Martinez signed me and he's been sacked by the club, when we went to holiday, we come back, the first training, we had 2 weeks training. The first 2 weeks we trained. And then the guy called me in his office and told me, you better find a club because I don't think you're good to play for Everton. I said, okay, no problem. And to be honest, I tried to find a club. I called my agent with understanding. At that point, I understand what he was doing, because, okay, you don't want me. I don't mind. You tell me you don't want me. But, okay, I tried to find a club for like 1 month and a half, but I couldn't get the right offer. The offer I was getting is going back to Turkey and going back to Russia, because I had good teams who wanted me there. But, you know, I fought my life to drive in Premier League. I'm not going to leave because one guy just told me, I don't want you. And when I signed 4 years for the club, okay, I will get a good Premier League club, knowing that I'm going to stay in Premier League and I'm going to fight to stay, to make my dream come true. Or I stay in Everton. And when I didn't have the good offer, I decided to stay. That's where, like 2-3 weeks before the windows closed, he started properly now to pushing me out, doing all this stuff, you know, he did. But I just look at him and I understand what he was trying to do. I understand him early. So I said to him, I'm not gonna fail on what he's doing. Either I got what I want with a good Premier League club, any Premier League club, because all the Premier League club was good for me. Any Premier League club, I got it, I signed, I move on. I don't want to stay where I'm not like it. But if I don't have it, I'm gonna stay. So the fact then I decided to say, I'm gonna stay because this is my dream, make things easy after. Even if it was difficult, after deep down, I said, I'm fighting for something I really want. I'm fighting for my dream. So when you fight for your dream, I think everything becomes easier.
Wow. I mean, honestly, Umar, hats off to you, because I can't imagine there's many people that would be able to take that on the chin and manage and deal with it and handle it in the way that you have. So, you know, I guess that's testament to your character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to ask you, Umar, you know, this season, Everton are doing very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you about a particular player who's drawing all the plaudits at the moment, in Dominic CalvertLewin. So, of course, you've trained with him. At times, you've partnered him up front. And I guess I wanted to understand, because he's rose and developed, it seems like at quite a rapid rate. So in training, you know, and working with him, did you see that he had the right mentality, the right qualities to arrive at the level that he's performing at now? Was it always going to happen, or did it come out of nowhere?
Well, I mean, Dominic, when he arrived at Everton, I remember the first day he came on training. I remember, like, because at that point, at that moment, I was I was training with the under 23. So we arrived training with under 23 because Lukaku was there and Aaron O'Connor, and they have any Valencia when just come and arrive. So I was training with the under 23, and he came for the first training. I saw him how he was training. He was like, physically, you can see the lad is there. Physically, you can see that the way he's jumping was the first thing who impressed me, is the way he's jumping high. But the more after we get to play with the under 23, pairing in under 23, and then we went to the first team. And then when I arrive when I get back to the first team also, we've been training and being pairing, doing most of the training. But honestly, you could see the guy had potential. You could see. Sometimes by his age, and that was normal, he could have doubt when he's not in, or when the team is not winning. But on training, you could see then the guy have really potential, because he's very good on like shooting, and he can stay out doing his heading for like half an hour after the training, just keeping training. And you can see, I could see from when he arrived and 1 year, 2 years after, how he was going like this, how he was going. So I'm kind of not surprised to where he is right now. And I think he can do better than that. He can do much more better than that, the way he's playing right now. And the most important things right now, and it's the thing he was missing is doubting moment, is not having it anymore. No matter how the game is, I can look at them, even watching him on TV, I can understand. No, he's preparing something. He's doing something. He doesn't lose the ball, who's making him go down. He doesn't miss things, who's making him go down. Every time he's on his shoulder looking at the defender who's going to play. And, well, you play against them, you know, he can hold the ball, he can jump, he can take the channel, he can do anything. Just all I've been seeing is just the moment he had down, and I don't see it anymore. So, honestly, I'm not surprised to where he is.
Before we move on to, you know, potentially what sort of project that you're going to be looking for next, how do you sum up your time at Everton? Because you started off, I would say, well, then eventually you got frozen out, then you came back in from the cold. How do you sum up your time, and what do you have to say to the Everton fans? Well,
I mean, I'm really lucky then when even the bad time I have at Everton, I still like been loving by the Everton fans. I'm someone who can say the way then I love Everton, that's the same way the Everton fans, they love me. So it's been like just complicated, coming from being not like it, being not wanted in the club, and arriving and fighting for it, and always giving doing the right things. Because to be honest, playing with the under 23 for 6 months, training with them, traveling 5 hours in the bus, and in the coach to go to play for Southampton, when you were a professional football player, knowing that every trip you do more than 2 hours, you take a plane, you start again doing 5 hours, 6 hours. It was very difficult for me to manage that, to just being me and staying to give the right example for the kids I was with. They were 18, 19, for me being 26, to be with them, giving them the right example, fighting, coming on time on training, not doing anything bad, just give them the right example. That made me to feel more like part of the club at Everton. And when things start going better for me, coming to training and games, well, I felt like there is nothing for me to be saying to the Everton fans apart from thank you. That's it. Then I mean, them too, they know the part I have, the part they have in my heart, and I know that also I'm not worrying to go back to Goodison Park or Finch Farm, because I know I will be more than welcome. So it's all good, and let's hope then they can make Europe this season again.
Yeah, so Umar, we know your current situation is you're a free agent. Obviously, you left the club back in June or July. The club didn't extend your contract to, you know, cope with the end of the season. So I imagine that this is the first time in your career you've been a free agent. So how have you found the regimen? How have you managed to channel your mind, keep fit whilst you're waiting for the next opportunity?
Well, I'm always thinking about what exactly is the option I have right now when I'm in the situation. And the option you have is, after I left the club, it was for me to wait for the right time, because obviously I want to stay in England, because I feel like I have something to, I have still, I can prove in England, I have still, like, I'm 30, and I know physically, thanks God, I never had bad injury in knees or ankle, or so I know I'm fit, and I'm keeping myself fit as much as I can. So I had opportunity to go abroad. I had opportunity, I had offers, but you know, I said to myself, let me just focus on what I want. And it's always about being happy and following or chasing your dream. And my dream is to play in England. My dream is to play here. So I said, just as long as it's something I know I'm doing it and I want it and I really, really want to do it, it's easy, because you're going to train hard. If you think about what you can do, you're going to just keep your mind to doing the right things when you know what's the end of it. So me, I'm staying in here in Manchester, training every day, going to gym, sometimes running in the park, sometimes just playing with my boys, few footballs, sometimes touching the ball. But honestly, it's more about, like I said from the beginning, if you chase your dream, it's easier. If you chase your dream, if you're doing something you want, you're gonna be fine. But if you decide to do something you're not like going because, well, there is financial aspect, or there is, you just want to play football and not knowing then what you're going to do is not going to make you happy. You're not going to be happy. And for me, it's important to be somewhere I can be happy.
So do you believe your dreams will become a reality? Recently, a manager that you found a rich vein of form with, Sam Allardyce, has been appointed West Bromwich Albion manager. Is that a project that you'll be interested in? And has he been on the phone to your agent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always in the phone with my agent, and yeah, Big Sam is a guy I work with, and we had good relationship at the time when he was at Everton. When he been like appointed West Brom manager, it's kind of something open, because right now the only thing is on my mind is, if I get to a team in England, just the opportunity to be in the pitch and to do exactly what I've been missing for all this time. And I know, like Big Sam, we have a good relationship, like I said, and he know how I am. He know me personally. So that can be a very good thing. I'm interested. And to be honest, I'm open. I'm open when it's coming to the teams in England, to team even championship. I'm thinking about it. And because the challenge could be there, the challenge could be interesting. And I'm ready to take up the challenge, because that's really what I want. I've got my son here. He's 4 or 5 years old now, and to be honest, the offer I'm having is to be like 4 or 5 hours, even more, because now the MLS is opening the door, knocking at the door, but you know, it's too far, and I'm thinking about what exactly I have to get. If I go there and I'm not happy, it's not worth it. So it's more about being happy, and I know being in England is something that's gonna make me happy. So of course, West Brom it can be a very good opportunity for me, but you know, my agent will try to do what he needs to do. And if Big Sam is interesting, of course, me, I was ready to jump on my car and just drive to Birmingham.
So Umar, what attributes do you think you can offer in the Premier League?
I mean, the experience is here now. I've got experience, and physically, if you play me, you know, you're gonna play like you're gonna play a dog, because when it's coming to take the channel, I will strongly.
Yeah, you don't stay running.
Strongly, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, if you play me, as you know, strongly, I'm gonna be there. If you hit me, you know, you're hitting someone who's very strong, and as long as you can hit, as long as you can do it, I'm not. And the other things, I need confidence to do properly what I'm gonna do, but I don't doubt. It's a big difference. Like, you need confidence to do what you can do properly, but I'm never doubting myself. So I know I can score goals. I know that's what fact. Me, on my days, there's nothing stop me. So now what I can offer is a lot. I can offer experience, and I know I've never have problem, no matter where I've been. My mentality is clean and good heart for everyone, and that's important in the dressing room. So I know there is a lot here, with experience, with physically what you can do, scoring goals, knowing that any team who's gonna play you, they're gonna definitely have to be on their toes, because you're gonna take it 10 times, 20 times, ball in the channel, I'm going. So, and it's what you need in Premier League. Always constant pressure, high pressure to the defender. They know this guy, 90 minutes, 95 minutes, a dead ball, you think I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna go for it. So, and because that's what I want, that's what I love, that's how I've been making myself every time, putting pressure on the defender, playing physically, knowing then, okay, the ball bounce, I'm not gonna let you have it. We can go for it, we can go, and at the end of the game, our shirt, we can change it, but you're gonna have to watch my 3 or 4 times because it's yeah.
No, that's brilliant, Umar. So just final question from my end. Sadio Mane, for me, you know, one of the best players in the world, arguably the best player in the Premier League at the moment. How highly do you rate him as a, you know, fellow Senegalese?
You know, Sadio make us all proud, right? Make us to the way he's been playing like the last 4 or 5 years. He's been always been doing something really good to make everyone to understand. Like as a Senegalese people, as African people, you can make it properly on the highest level, no matter exactly where you come from. And Sadio come from a village in South Senegal, and he been having a long journey to where he is now. Honestly, he's a good friend of mine. Even if he was Liverpool and Everton, always like once doing that, but he's a good friend of mine.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah, man, you need that.
Yeah, so he's a very good guy. He's a very good guy, honestly. And just like I said, he make us proud. Make us proud to where he's playing right now in the world. Every fellas who watch footballs know Sadio Mane, know what he can do, and he's keep doing it every week in, week out, like for 3-4 years now, winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League. Honestly, he makes us proud. And as a good friend of mine, I always tell him, just keep carry on it. As long as you can do it, just keep doing it. And honestly, you meet Sadio, you're gonna love him because he's a very nice guy, very humble guy, very humble guy.
Yeah, so Umar, when we talk about African players, it seems like the quality just keeps getting better and better and better. We've got Mane, Salah, Kouyaté, Aubameyang, Naby Keita. Do you feel that the pool of talent within Africa is, you know, getting better?
I mean, we understand more than, honestly, before, people were more like about hiding than, if you're from Africa, people are more not looking at you to not respect you. I mean, people don't looking at you to don't respect you. You think like people don't respect you. You think like you can't do much in front of the other people who are not from Africa. So now we are more like understanding them. There is nothing stopping us. Only us can stop to ourselves. So the guys, when they understand that, they're just doing what they know to do and arriving in Europe, knowing that, okay, once you see what Drogba was doing, once you see what Samuel Eto'o was doing, we understand it more as a professional football player. When you arrive, the sky is the limit. So you have the pitch there, training. If you can perform very good every week, there is nothing. You can be from Africa, you can be from America, you can from nowhere, you can do it. So once you understand that, you have the aptitude, like physically, you know, the lads in Africa, physically, they're very strong. You know, don't lie. We are very strong. You can run all the pitch as long as the same energy and the same vibes the other people are going for it. If you, as an African player, do that, have a good way to sleep, sleeping good, eating good, like looking after yourself properly, if you have quality, you're gonna get at the top. And that's what the guys understand now. The Naby Keita, like you said, Ghana, Aubameyang, all them guys now, they don't see why they can't do it. Mane, Salah, well, look, they've been top of the Premier League for how long, winning everything. Why not? So that's what I see. The guys, they understand now. They understand that the sky is the limit.
100%. You know, the final question that I wanted to ask you, Umar. Of course, we know that currently we're in a global pandemic, right? And recently we've had so many lockdowns and this kind of stuff, which has made it difficult for people like yourself, for example, to go back home and visit family. And obviously, you know, being so far away from family, I know a lot of your family are back home in Senegal. With everything that's happening, I think even Senegal was ranked like number 2 in the world for how it's responded to the COVID-19 outbreak. Does that give you like a bit, does it put you at ease a bit more, like, and give you peace of mind to know that, you know, even though you can't visit your family at the moment, you know that, you know, the country as a whole are in a place where they're looking after everyone and people are safe?
Yeah, and me personally, like, I'm a very family guy. I'm a very family guy. I've never stayed like more than 2 months without going back home to see my family, because my mom is there. My brothers, I have one brother who plays football, like I said to you before. My other brothers is there, you know, family, Africa family, you know. I've got 5 brothers, 2 sisters, so it's big. And my niece and nephews are there, so I always go home. But this year, it's been like since June 2019, I haven't been home, which is like 1.5 years nearly. And the pandemic, like, was a big part of it, because you can't travel, things are going bad, you know, you have to keep people safe, you have to make sure then if you travel, it's for something really important. So that's keep me, for example, 1.5 years without going back home, which is a long way. But, you know, in Senegal, we like you said, we've been doing good. We've been doing good about the pandemic. People are respecting things, and you don't see the coronavirus, how we handle it is good. So knowing that after all, this year been so difficult, my family are good, and most of the things are getting better there. So he keep me in peace here, keep me learning then, okay, it's difficult to don't see them. It's not what exactly you want, but it's what you have at the moment. So you have to deal with it. And knowing then I have a lot of things going on behind me, I have to keep myself on the way then I can turn properly. And if I know then the only way to make them be safe, to make them like look after them properly, is to stay here and train hard, train properly when this time pandemic is here. You know, it's difficult to do a lockdown when you live alone, and that's what I do. I live on my own. Even my son is here, but I live with his mom, so it's very difficult. But if you know what can be the result, if you know why you're doing that, after it's become easy, you're doing that. I'm doing that because of them. I'm doing them because the part of my family, I want them for at least for the rest of their life to be safe when it's coming financially. And I make them proud. I make them proud the way then I'm fighting, the way then I'm keeping my mind healthy, the way then I'm trying to look after them. I'm trying to look after, like I said, a big community in Africa where I'm from, in Senegal. I try my best to most of the people there. I help them as much as I can. So if you see exactly what you're doing, no matter how hard it is, it's going to be easier, because you can see you're doing something for big community, for your family, and for people all around the world, I can say.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Umar, family is everything. Like, you sound like a very, very good guy. Just finally from me, if there's a message to any prospective manager or club that's watching this podcast, what would you tell them about the type of player they'll be getting if you sign for their club?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be first someone who is mentally in the right state, because, like I said, everywhere I've been, I found that's more important. You cannot win every game, but you can win all the hurt if you act good as a normal person, as good person in the dressing room, not fighting, not bringing problem when you don't playing, not bringing problem when you are playing or not scoring, or this guy score or this person do. I'm a striker, of course. You have to say a striker have to be selfish in front of the goal, but in life, I've just learned that the most important is to be just knowing that you can help others to perform good. You can help others to go. So the first thing a manager will look like or will see is the guy who is ready to help, no matter how the situation is, inside the pitch or outside. Secondly, physically, I know I'm 30 now, but I know physically I've never feel better. I've been preparing myself with my personal trainer for like 4 or 5 months, doing hard training. Then I've done this hard training before I left Senegal. And after I left, I've never done it before. I was just maintaining training. But the training I've been doing the last 4 or 5 months in this lockdown are really hard. So I know physically I am there. And the experience also. The experience is important for me, to knowing that I've got the experience to play in England. I know a lot of things about how the game is playing. And I know confidence, if I have a manager who give it to me, I will give him goal, 100%. So that's the message I could give.
That's a
Brilliant.
lovely way to wrap it up, Umar.
Best way, 100%. Man, honestly, Umar, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much for the pod and you know, and sharing your truth with us, you know, speaking openly about your career so far, what you and for the near future. And we wish you all the best on your
thank you guys, thank you.
endeavors, man. You know, we're rooting for you. We're fellow Africans, so we're completely behind you, man, and you all the best for the near future. We know that everyone that's listening or tuning into this episode will enjoy it as much as us. Call it a day, and we're gonna leave it there. Once again, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you guys, thank you. I'll have to say also, this is nice for me because like I've been like out of the lights for now since I left Everton, and to talk with people who enjoy the game and who make you to just talk with people who also will know more about you. It's very interesting for me to have this conversation with you guys too, and hopefully like sometimes very soon we can be in touch again, and knowing that maybe you're gonna see me somewhere, like you said, maybe in West Brom, you're gonna see me there and you will remember this conversation. Anyway, no matter where I'm gonna be, like give me that hope. Anytime you guys have me, you gotta have my contact. Anytime you can talk about anywhere I can be. You know, I want to stay in England, but if I end up going to Turkey or in anywhere, you know, in the world, anything you want to talk about or just want to have about the conversation, if I can help, I'm open, you know. Like
love him.
Appreciate that so much.
The heart on my top. Love.
Leave it there.
Let's leave it there, man.
Over
and out.
Thank you guys. Much love. Okay.